Way too many bombs, but we're off.
Hey, at least if you get bombs, you don't have to go farming them.
Yeah, but I've seen too many people sadly taking a death throughout escape. We'll see a big heart in our first chest today.
That'll make that death and escape less likely.
That it indeed will. And I'm also still waiting for someone to get a bow opening and decide to do NMG strats and head straight to Eastern after escape.
Yeah, that could very well be a thing. I think I would only be tempted to do that if I also found the lamp, though.
Yeah, the lamp and only a single bomb, because more than that means Kakariko, but we're getting a hammer start today.
Alright, hammer start, probably one of the better things you want to see as a runner here. The hammer not only giving you access to a metric ton of damage, but also a very, it's a reusable weapon, and better than the sword, and except in terms of range. Now, who42baker did pick up a 4 bomb drop, and there we go, Murnco picking up 1.
We also saw a very early map check and saw all 3 neutral crystals in the light world.
So no 5/6s yet, but we know we're going to be clearing Eastern, Desert, and Tower of Hera. Meaning we are going to need the bow before we go to Ganon's Tower. We are going to need the lamp by the logic. We're going to need at least a glove and a bunch of stuff to get through Desert. There's a lot of possibilities here. I'm not going to go through the whole list.
Yeah, it's a little bit too early to be bringing up that entire list. We've had a good portion of seeds tending to give a lot of items in the early game, and then often comes down to one item in a really awkward location.
Yeah, I feel like with the way the algorithm does that, does the randomization, that's actually pretty likely of there being one item that's kind of thrown off in a weird location that you have to get to. Basically, at the beginning, the algorithm just kind of sits there and throws items anywhere, assuming you have everything else. And then basically from that point on, the algorithm has to conform to that one weird placement.
It is meant to be randomized after all. Also see both our players are picking up a 300 rupee chest, which is going to be very nice for that bottle merchant when they head into Kakariko. And also seeing here how effective this hammer is against the ball and chain guard. And that's a really good 3 bomb chests to get early on.
Indeed.
I've been watching a lot of mirror seeds early on, so this feels a bit weird to me watching our players run back.
Yeah, early mirror seeds are always pretty great as far as getting out of escape. They do, unfortunately, however, make it a little more likely that you have to go to Swamp.
Yeah, Swamp is always a bit of a love-hate situation. There's a lot of items there, but there is that left side that no one wants to go to. Another thing also with this version of the logic is that I've seen a lot of AGA 1 seeds this tournament.
Yeah, roughly the probability of AGA 1 being required is around 28%.
I have to say, that feels really high.
Yeah, it's, or at the very least, that's the probability of Aghanim appearing in the playthrough section of the spoiler log.
There's always the possibility for fake flippers or going through dark rooms that may allow you to circumvent that.
The logic wants you to go to AGA 28% of the time. However, a little bit of a trivia thing, with the hammer here, if the hammer is your opening weapon, that probability drops to about 16%.
That is really interesting. I need to dig a bit deeper into those numbers.
Yeah, I'm a huge nerd and I wrote a bunch of scripts.
I just love numbers. Let's see, a 20 rupee chest. I believe we still are looking for the map here. I mean, not looking for it, but it's still there.
All right, there we go. We've taken care of the true final boss of Escape.
And a key rat.
Who can be as trolly as anything else in this game, to be honest.
Oh yeah, especially if there is that bomb star. See, a piece of heart, air capacity upgrade, and there is our map.
Alright, so that means that our runners will need to open that chest in Sanctuary.
That is indeed the case. The players are proceeding through this escape without any real trouble since they got the hammer. And also manages to solve that incredibly difficult pull puzzle here.
Yeah, pretty difficult. So we get through at about a 6:05 through that door, which is pretty nice, considering.
That's a pretty good time. Also getting that first shield. The shields don't tend to be of the highest priority, but if you can get them for free like that, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, and of course, if you see all three relatively early, you might think about an early trip into Turtle Rock. Because the logic can give you access to Laser Bridge if you have all three.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely true. There's a nice tree pull there for 80 rupees. And who42baker is actually going back here to pull off some magic. Now, what do you think about going up here and checking Lumberjack for Aga? Because we're seeing some players decided to do it and some deciding not to do it. We see 20 rupees here today. But what are your general thoughts?
So I go up to Aga if I have gotten one of the items that could make Aga required. So the lamp, a sword, a cape, and the boots for the lumberjack itself. So if I get one of those, I will go check Aga. Otherwise, I will wait.
That's a really interesting and adaptable position to take.
Yeah, I like to base my strategies on, what the seed has given me. I don't like to be forced into a particular route.
Yeah, being open is a very important skill to have, and yeah, very good English there. When it comes to routing Randomizer.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I have to really break myself of the never ever go to swamp unless you have to, because that's my weakness. It's gotten me into trouble in some of my races. Anyway, so it's time for Kakariko Village check. We got tons of items in here, 13 pretty much guaranteed to be accessible, and then the 14th item if you find a bottle.
And plenty of bombs and plenty of rupees will allow them to check all of these item locations. Start off here with our bottle. Well, that's convenient.
Speaking of which.
Yeah, a piece of heart and a big heart, and rounding this up with 5 rupees. Farming some rupees up here and picking up our boomerang.
All right. I do not mind a boomerang, and I don't mind one early on. My policy as far as boomerangs, I pick it up if I haven't been to Skull Woods yet.
Yeah, it's extremely useful for Skull Woods since you can stun those Gyptos with it. Dropping into the well, throwing the bomb, picking up our flippers.
All right, swimming time. We're well on our way to Zora money as well, so we might see an early Zora check.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, gloves as well. That gives us Dark World access, but we're still looking for that Moon Pearl.
Right. So you can get to the Dark World and check the map, but that's about it right now.
It is indeed true. So with these current items, the most sensible thing would be to head to the South Shore area and then proceed to do Hobo, Sora, maybe they will do Ice Lord Cave. We're not seeing some players deciding to skip out on that.
Yeah, I think if you're going to head over there, Ice Road Cave's probably a good call.
Another big heart, and it's another thing I've noticed with this logic is that the seed is very given when it comes to hearts in the early game.
Yeah, that happens a lot. It's not guaranteed. The other night I had a seed where I had to do, I think, Thieves Town on 5 hearts.
That doesn't sound very nice.
But it's not that big a deal.
If you're confident with doing that, then you're confident with doing that. You're seeing more rupees here, which is nice for that Sora trip.
Yep. Hopefully they'll be able to get all the money they need. To be honest, you could, if you know what Who knows, you could go get another Tier 2 tree pole and be there. There's the Cane of Brian, or Berna, on the library. So the boots will be required to get that if you want it. Not necessarily something that people need, but it does unlock the Spike Cave and the laser bridge in the logic.
That is indeed true. On the other hand, it's not that high of a priority to go back and pick that up. There's always a possibility to find maybe the cape later on. And they are already sitting on this bottle that is a red potion.
Now we have yet to locate the hookshot or the mirror, so we will not be able to see the one-shot trip into the dam here.
It's indeed the case, and we'll have to use 2 visits here, which is still fine. It just saves a little bit of time to have that. We find a fire rod, that's really cool.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the opposite of cool.
Hey, we don't use those words here, okay? I'm always right, okay? Never wrong. It's a good fire source to have. It's not the lamp, which unlocks more in the early game, but the fire rod is essentially always a required item. Oh, no, Moon Pearl.
There we go. There's that Dark World access. So if you got Dark World access and a fire rod, are you thinking Skull Woods at this point?
I mean, I am not a big fan in general of having Dark World access this early on, but you have to think that Skull Woods is a consideration.
I know you'd want a sword because you can't get to Mothula otherwise, but that could still be a huge deal.
I mean, I still like heading into the Dark World just to check out Skull Woods' first few chests to try and find the 2 items.
Oh, wow. So who42baker immediately notices this is Dark World access and decides, I'm going to check Hype Cave.
Skull Woods and Thieves Town are 5 and 6. Ice, Mire, and Turtle Rock are pendants, with ice being green.
This is like the dream setup for crystals.
And we will have one of the earliest Hype Caves in this tournament.
This is also one of the weirdest scenarios in the world where you can actually end up with all 7 crystals before you get the Titan's Mitts.
Oh yeah, that's indeed true. So we could have a Titan's Mitts for Gomo. There's 300 rupees here starting off this Hype Cave. Follows up by an Era Capacity upgrade, 5 rupees. It's a Mushroom, 20 rupees. I've seen worse Hype Caves.
So I really like this Hype Cave check, and who can actually just route the mini Moldorm Cave in right after this if he wants? Or he can just head off to other places in the Dark World.
Yeah, actually,
very interesting early Dark World play.
Yeah, he's going for this reverse world tour, I guess you can call it. And here's a bit of an annoying part, though, with our current item spread. It actually means that Catfish is in the logic already.
Wow, yeah, that's right.
And Stumpy with just some arrow help.
Yeah, if only we had something to shoot those with.
That would be very helpful. I did see Murnco picking up 20 rupees for the hobo and deciding to skip out on the Ice Rod Cave for now.
Yeah, that could be a reasonable play.
And the waterfall today gives the
Ooh.
lamp, so there's other fire source and 20 rupees.
So who42baker picked up. We found the item was just the green rupee that's sitting there. He just dug us a Triforce. Oh my goodness, the hook shot over there on Zora's ledge.
Yeah, this routing here is working out very well for Murnco.
Yeah, those flippers were turning out to be pretty impressive. Now Murnco did manage to get just enough rupees to do Zora. Now, with who42baker's divergence into Hype Cave, he was able to get quite a few more rupees, so this will be less of a devastating ripoff.
Yes, King Sora being King Sora and ripping you off, but this hook shot I would say is worthwhile the investment. So Murnco's got a lot of locations now because this opens up Death Mountain as well.
Yeah, the Death Mountain play seems pretty strong too.
And that's kind of the thing when you are this early on with these items, that you just have so many different locations to check. Where do you go first? And it seems like Murnco is actually doing the standard route, as to speak, and checking out Sahasrara.
Yeah. I feel like though if I had the access that Murnco does, I would bank on finding the mirror elsewhere and then maybe doing Pod and Eastern at the same time.
I don't think he's gonna dip into Eastern since he is missing that bow and he has a lot of item locations to check.
Yeah, that's entirely possible.
And who is now checking out the Ice Rod Cave.
Who is checking out Ice Rod Cave?
Who42 is checking out Ice Rod Cave. Murnco didn't find anything at the back of Sahasrara.
Sorry, I was just being a jerk.
Oh, okay, so that's where we're going with this commentary. Okay, I gotcha.
Like there's a who's on first routine here, and it's coming. No, it's not really happening. All right, so Ice Rod Cave. Piece of heart today, unfortunately.
I'm still waiting to see a seed where Ice Rod Cave has something. But I have heard that it is quite lucrative. And Murnco is actually making the play here into Eastern. I'm a little bit surprised by this, but he seems to just accepted that I'm just gonna do the standard basic route even though I have Dark World access.
Yeah, it is entirely possible that some people will be kind of locked into their routes. Now I saw that Quake medallion there on the Lake Hylia Island.
Yeah, I only saw that it was a medallion, and that's going to be a bit interesting whether or not that is required.
Yep, Quake medallion. I find it useful for 3 things. 1, opening dungeons that it's required for. 2, dead rocks. Forget dead rocks. There's a sword over in Eastern, so pretty good call from Murnco.
It's a really good one, and reason number 3 is?
Dealing with Pengators in Ice Palace.
Oh, that's interesting. Quake works on them.
Yep, Quake kills them outright. It also kills Wizrobes.
Video game logic, I guess. Anyway, Who is now heading over towards Sora, and he's gonna find himself his hookshot. And Murnco finds the big key in a rather convenient location. I just realized that for Murnco, correct me if I'm wrong here, but is Pyramid Fairy in logic for him?
Is Pyramid Fairy in logic for Murnco? Well, Skull Woods, Thieves Town, yep.
That is indeed rather interesting to see 20 minutes into the run. I mean, in this situation, where would you go?
I mean, I would have to be thinking Skull Woods at this point, even though I don't like the idea of a Fighter Sword Mothula. The fact that it gave me the Fire Rod and all of these Dark World access this early, it's just screaming Skull Woods at me, and I can take care of Thieves Town while I'm at it.
Do you see Murnco just picking up a big heart in the final chest in Eastern? Can't continue there. Personally, I would go and check up Death Mountain, which is a lot of item locations, and Tower of Hera is completable, and you get the save and quit point up there as well, which is quite nice to have. And Murnco is checking out the Genius Cave. He is just checking out everything you can check at the very beginning of the game before he decides to do anything else. And who is leaving Thieves Town Skull Woods for now and will head towards Death Mountain.
Yep, Death Mountain is also another interesting play. And you can actually clear Tower of Hera, you know, it's a crystal. Everything's pretty solid.
We just saw some love over on the desert ledge. The uncle also sharing some love.
Alright, so Genius Cave has the potential to have a important item. Not today, though.
It is one of those item locations that, if there is something there, that could actually be a big advantage to you. Who is getting a dead rock blocked, so he decides to take this path instead.
Yeah, so we will not see the Spectacle Rock check until he is up at Tower of Hera, which is okay. It's not the worst thing that ever happened.
This is a very good decision to adapt on the fly there after that dead rock block.
So he will need to make sure he remembers to take care of that. It also might make it more likely that he checks Spike Cave.
And Murnco is heading all the way over to Ice Rock Cave right now. Who is finding 20 rupees and 3 bombs. And the hook shot very nicely done on those Moldorms.
Making use of the boomerang strat to activate that switch. Ooh,
and nothing here.
Garbage today.
He's finding the leftover scraps from someone's visit there.
I think he's a little bit too far right. Nope, he got it. Never mind. That's just artifacts from the stream.
It's a bit difficult to see sometimes. Oh, I think that Murnco may not have realized that he has Dark World access, which is why he's having his menu open thinking, and I think that was the boots on the Death Mountain Island.
It 100% was. Now, of course, we don't have access to that. We don't have the mirror. We have no idea where that is. We don't have the Titan's Myth, so we can't get to the Dark World. But I feel like our runners are going to want to get those sooner rather than later.
50 rupees on top of Spectacle Rock, and yeah, the boots just end up saving so much time. So when they do get the myths and the mirror, they will very likely be heading up there.
Right, there's a big key in the basement cage here in Tower of Hera. This is not going to work out for who42baker, but you could do the boomerang strat to make that switch happen. That's fine.
He's really putting that boomerang to use, and Murnco is also taking his trip up to Death Mountain.
So now we've got ourselves a sort of a divergent route situation. And who is employing hookshot strats on these beetles here? Pretty neat.
Ends up working very well. We can just push them down the hole. Don't have to worry about actually killing them yourself.
And of course, the pot makes quick work of the third one.
Yeah, pots are incredibly broken in this game.
Pots do the same amount of damage as your hammer or the tempered sword. There's a second bottle. That's the first item here in Tower of Hera, and that looks like a good bomb jump spot.
I was a bit worried that Mini Moldron was going to go up there and then knock him down, but we do find our second item here in Tower of Hera.
So that means that the basement will not be required, which is nice for Who, because you don't want to have to do that.
It's a big time waste. In general, though, if you have only found one item in this dungeon and it is a crystal, do you imagine that your opponent is also going to check it?
Alright, so we've got hammer strats on Moldorm, primarily for Who, because that's the only weapon Who has. But it's also probably more optimal than using the fighter's sword.
Yeah, it was a pretty good fight. Moldorm was not being too trolly today.
Nice, quick troll-dorm fight for Who, and that's our first crystal at 26 minutes and 38 seconds.
And that's a pretty good time for it, and there's still plenty of other crystals that are available to our runners.
Yep, and we see Who is going to check the Spectacle Rock Cave.
Now, he did not do Spiral Cave.
Right. Because of that dead rock situation. He might go check the Spike Cave.
I could definitely see that happening, since he does have that red potion.
No, looks like he's just going to go back over to Spiral Cave. The very long way around.
You don't really want to leave any item locations. And Murnco, thinking about heading into Spiral Cave there, but decides to go to Tower of Hera first.
Yeah, I imagine that'll happen afterwards.
And Murnco is just trailing into the item locations that Who has already checked right now. So please take a moment to enjoy this amazingly slow Spiral Cave. And it's finally over. And only that, all that for a piece of art.
Just a little bit unfortunate. Murnco using the sword strats here today. And it looks like Who will be heading over to West Dark World.
And we've been waiting for this for quite some time, and a bit surprising to see both our players decide topped up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I would have been pretty torn between going to Death Mountain or going here, so it would have been kind of a toss-up depending on what I was doing.
I think Who may have decided to head to Death Mountain first just to have checked more item locations and increased the possibility of having a sword before entering Skullwoods and Thieves.
Right. And of course, maybe a few more safeties before having to fight Mothula.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now, based on the fact that Who does not have a sword at the moment, I will venture that he will probably head to Thieves Town area first.
Now you could still decide to go up and check the two items, and it seems like you are correct on this one. Or not.
Well, he changed his mind. He's like, you know what? I don't want to lift all these bushes.
It is heavy lifting. Murnco is now entering his Trolldorn fight and is actually opting to use the sword and the hammer.
Unfortunately, if he hits with a hammer, we're going to be in speed strat stage. But that looked like a poke with the sword before the hammer actually hit. So he dodged a bullet there.
It's very nice for him. He just found a small key and a compass thus far in Skullwoods.
Luckily, finding that small key early so he wouldn't have to take a double or go through the pinball room.
It's always a bit annoying to do that. Did find the big key already.
That looks like a good position for the bomb jump.
And he's across and he gets the red mail.
Hey, certainly not going to argue with that.
It's always nice to get that one early.
Now Murnco's going to go for the long spiral trip.
And who is continuing to check this final... I can actually check 2 more item locations here in Skullwoods, but I don't really think he's gonna head to the Mafia part since he doesn't have that sword.
He might. Depends on how much of a hard hint he felt that fire rod was. Ooh!
Oh, that's never nice to see.
This is the point at which I'd be hauling out the boomerang strats. Or fire rod, that works. Just burn them.
I didn't want to deal with those at all.
If all else fails, use fire.
And Murnco checked out the Spiral Cave and save and quits and heads to the Sanctuary, so we may be heading to the same locations. And who will continue with the Skullwoods play to check the final chest.
Yep. Now, basically, the best thing who could hope to find here is a sword in that chest.
Yeah.
However, I think it has to be a small key.
I'm not sure how the small keys and that works in Skullwoods, but it's actually the map.
Okay, I'm mistaken. Right, I was just miscounting the keys.
I mean, the map is about as useful as a small key for him anyway. So Mothula is sitting on the second item then, I believe. Yeah, we've seen both the map and the compass, so...
Right.
And who is taking a Death Warp.
All I know, I thought we hadn't seen the second small key, but I guess we had.
It must have been in
it was in that. It was in the big key chest. I'm dumb.
I mean, accidents happen. There's things to keep track of here.
But yeah, I know that Mothula cannot hold a small key is the thing. That's one of the rules. Or cannot block a small key.
Yes, that is true. Saw nothing of value there from the chess game for Murnco, who decided to skip out on Skullwoods for now. He's gonna check out the Sea House and find himself with... Oh! Are you kidding me? I mean... I know a certain doctor who is going to be quite upset when he checks out that item location.
Yeah. Though, you know, if we see an immediate about face, that would be kind of hilarious.
Even getting trolled by that skull.
All right, skulls under bushes and pots are now officially the worst thing.
I don't even know how that works. I mean, dead rocks you can at least adapt to a little bit, but then suddenly you lift up a bush and there's a skull there and you're like, are you kidding me? Because you also have to wait a little until you can actually hit it. And Murnco is making the Thieves town play. I see nothing wrong with this decision. It's plenty of hearts, blue mail, master sword, seems good to me, and hammer of course.
Yep. The hammer is a item that you want to have before going into Thieves Town on account of that big chest potentially being required.
Yeah, and we've seen seas where that big chest does have something of some major importance. And who is also making the plane to Thieves?
So we got a 50 rupees out of that first chest. I didn't see it the first time over on Murnco's screen. And there's a plus 10 bomb upgrade and a compass. So we found 2 of the 4 items in the front area.
It seems like a pretty standard situation, as we will be heading to the deeper parts.
You can find anywhere from 0 to 3 items in the first 4 chests. The 4th one required to be the big key.
And indeed, the big key was in the second chest this time. And Murnco now will be heading into the Hellway, a room that is a little bit easier at least to navigate with the hookshot. But not today. Today is really being a hell.
That's what it's designed for. Who making use of that heart pod in the top right corner of the main lobby.
Murnco using the hookshot very well to navigate around Thieves Town.
The hookshot one-shots these grasshoppers, which would otherwise deal quite a bit of damage to you. Although, with the blue mail, it's a little less daunting.
Hellway was a little bit less hell for who? And as who heads up, Murnco heads down. So following this Thieves Town play, I would not be surprised if either of our players decide to head up to Skull Woods, even if it's just gonna be to go up there and defeat Ophula.
Yep, and of course that last item up there could be quite important.
And it will open up Pyramid Fairy for our players as well.
Oh yeah.
It just feels weird to say that 40 minutes into the run.
Yeah, so basically Mothula is hiding 3 items right now.
Oh, Murnco, you don't have that small key.
So we are now experiencing one of the newer features of this randomizer, where the small key can be locked inside that big chest, meaning it's not necessary to complete.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few seats that have been that way, and we have seen both the map and the compass, however, so Blind will have our final item. Murnco with a very fast phase 1, heading into phase 2, and just get it down.
So we could be in one of, as we stated before, we could be in one of those weird situations where the Titansmiths are not required to get all 7 crystals. They are going to be required to get into Ganon's tower, but other than that, pretty interesting.
I have to be honest here, I've commentated 2 races this tournament that have had Titansmiths for Go mode.
Wow.
So
We're still a ways from that.
I'm just saying, and it's been quite a while since we actually found a progression item. Line being a bit annoying here for Who, but gets him down, and Murnco is making the Skullwoods play. And that's also our second crystal 40 minutes into the run. And Who has decided that, or maybe he hasn't decided, oh yeah, he has to walk around like this in order to get up to Mothula.
Yeah, I feel the moth play coming on. He might go look at Bumper Cave real quick, but I imagine Mothula is first and foremost in his mind right now.
Yeah, the Bumper Cave Graveyard Ledge area is very low priority right now.
Now, I do not envy anyone having to do Fighter Sword Mothula, but at least you've got the red mail and some number of non-trivial hearts.
And the red potion.
Interestingly enough, Murnco deciding to go for the pot room with the guaranteed key in it. Or pinball room, excuse me.
It could just simply be based on his earlier routing that he just has this route that he always does and feels very confident doing. And Who is heading straight to the back to hopefully slay them off. Not sparing any magic here, just wanted to get the runes done as fast as possible. Luring out the hand before falling in, about half magic, 10 hearts, red mail, red potion. Does have the hammer, which is going to help because the fire sword is not going to be doing much damage here.
We are seeing a switch to hammer strats, which is very interesting. To be honest, I don't mind hammer strats here because if I'm fighting Mothula with red mail, I kind of want to get up in his face anyway, right?
And that's what he's doing right now. He's got some nice hits in there.
It only takes 4 hits that count with the hammer to take down Mothula, and there we go. Just a piece of heart for the first item, but that's not all that Mothula unlocked. We've got 2 more items that just became available.
Indeed, the Pyramid Fairy is already available to our players. Or it will be for Murnco soon enough. Very nice timing there for Murnco actually getting grabbed by the hand. But Who is not down in the Dark World for now? He still has something else he wants to check out.
Yeah, I imagine we may see a Bumper Cave check, potentially over to Catfish.
Yeah, that could indeed be something, and Catfish is a very difficult location to route in. With that, we could also possibly see a Pyramid check.
Yeah, though if I was going to do a Pyramid check, I'd want to do Pyramid Fairy as well.
Oh,
So
yeah, absolutely.
I think we might see Bumper Cave, Catfish, then a save and quit to Link's house, where we go back to the portal, grab the bomb, and go to Pyramid. There's the Ether Medallion on Bumper Cave. So, we're not even doing Catfish. We're just saving and quitting right now.
skipping the fish for now. So we've actually found 2 medallions that we can't get. We also got the Quake on the Hylia Island. Murnco not being as lucky with the magic drops on the Gibdos.
Now, it is actually quite likely that those medallions may not even be required, but there could be something in either Misery Mire or Turtle Rock which could troll the snot out of our runners.
Yeah, those medallions could just be red herrings for all we know. And of course, we also know that the boots are on the Death Mountain Island.
And we don't know if that's going to be required for Desert yet.
I mean, if you have the necessary items to go and pick up the boots just before you head into Ganon's Tower, do you do that?
Maybe. I'm not sure if going through Hookshot Cave would make up for the time, or the time saved with the boots would make up for the time going through Hookshot Cave, but I don't know. I haven't really timed it out.
Moffilo's not being very nice to Murnco, but he doesn't care. He just rams his face into it and hits it with a sword and manages to take it down. But I have to agree with those boots, because I've never been in that situation, and I've never seen anyone be in that situation. The pyramid today is the red meringue.
Yep. With our runners having access to the blue meringue already if they need it, I don't expect them to pick up the red one.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Oh, book and mitts! Oh my goodness!
Wow, the Pyramid Fairy paying off big time in this league with both the book and the Titan's mitts, and man, does that unlock a lot of item locations.
I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting here thinking, if it's book and mitts, we could end up with Desert Palace being accessible, but not necessarily because we don't have the mirror. And what do you know?
Well, the book opens up desert. The mitts open up... oh, it opens up ice.
Yeah, Ice Palace. Also the what's it called? The Dark World Death Mountain chests are now open.
Indeed. And we still don't have any medallions for Turtle Rock. Still looking for that bow and also the mirror. So who has walked all the way over here over the catfish and will receive Catfish's blessing, which is a small piece of heart, and he doesn't even want to accept it.
Womp womp. Now the only way that the mirror could be on the pedestal is if the Bombos medallion is required for both pendant dungeons.
That is really interesting to know. 2 medallions locked behind mirror, and mirror being required because it's needed to be swamp. The mirror
wait, no.
is...
Sorry, the ether is locked behind the cape. I'm dumb.
Yeah, the ether locked by the... Oh yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to keep track of, but even then, the mirror unlocks both Quake and the boots, and it unlocks swamp. And this mirror is just holding our players back a lot right now.
Alright, so interestingly enough, after unlocking all this, who is finally heading for Zaha's Rala?
And he will find the junk, and he may actually make the dip into Eastern. That's going to give him the Master Sword, but not anything more than that.
So that'll give Murnco time to sort of follow in whose footsteps.
This could also be a pod play. No, it's Eastern.
Yeah. If the mirror were available, I would see a pod Eastern play. And to be honest, at this point, I may have just decided to go to pod, hope the mirror's in there, and then maybe do Eastern afterwards.
Murnco is doing his hype cave to get the mushroom, and I don't believe that Who has delivered in that mushroom yet.
There is that. The mirror could 100% be there.
I'd be more inclined here to go and check out either Desert or the Dark Death Mountain areas, because I really don't like to go into a crystal dungeon that I can't beat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Desert is also one of those. So,
Oh, Murnco, you're forgetting a bomb.
where are you going?
Oh no. He may not have kept track of the crystals that he has acquired.
Oh, that's going to be unfortunate. But who just skipped the chest on the right that contains the sword?
That's just... Oh man, why? Hopefully Murnco may have realized that he forgot the Pyramid Fairy when he saw that, and yeah. We can only hope that's the case. He is not going to pick up the red meringue, and hopefully Who is going back to pick up that chest to get the Master Sword.
I hope so.
Murnco doesn't really seem to know where he wants to go, but it looks like he is opting for the catfish for now.
I mean, perhaps he just forgot to get the bomb and just kind of wanted to save face.
Yeah, that may be the case. We will find out in due time. Who doesn't... Okay, he's gonna save and quit, so he's gonna miss out on that sword.
Oh, that is really unfortunate.
Yeah, that's
especially if it turns out that all the crystals are available, but like the remaining swords are in pendant dungeons.
Well, he also has the book, so the Master Sword would unlock 2 item locations. Oh, actually, he doesn't have Bombo's tablet yet. He can't get access to Bombo's tablet because he doesn't have the mirror.
Yeah, Ether tablet though is wide open.
It is indeed true. Murnco did check out the catfish, he's gonna save and quit, and he will start off at the house. And he is a bit limited without the book and the myths.
Yeah, I think he's actually going back for the Pyramid Fairy now.
Yeah, I think he noticed his mistake when he visited Pyramid Fairy. And while this is going to set him back, Who not picking up that Master Sword could also be really devastating for him later on. So good here on Murnco to realize the mistake he's done and deciding to, I'm gonna do it because I have to do this. And with Who now making this play here into Desert, so unless this is boots locked, he can full clear this.
There is that.
Wouldn't it be great if it was that?
You know, I feel both ways about that. Like, it would be great for the viewing audience and probably pretty bad for Who. So I'm like, eh.
Well, the thing we need is more items locked behind the boots and mirror. Well, today it's the compass, so this dungeon is beatable.
That is true. And there we go, Murnco picks up the Titan's Myths and the book. Put those to good use shortly.
We'll see where he's heading soon enough. And Who's just found a small key, so he is heading over to the eastern part of Desert Palace, and Murnco is making the Dark Death Mountain play.
Oh, well, Desert Palace is clearly the correct play.
Yeah, the powder. Fantastic item to see.
It's the best item in the game, not close.
Yeah, now we can kill dead rocks. Woohoo.
to get fairies and otherwise prevent disasters that happen because I am bad.
I know that feel, man. I know that feel. And since Murnco did the route he did earlier, he did not check the inside of Spectacle Rock, just checking, seeing it's 20 rupees. And then he's not... Oh, he's thinking about Spy Cave here.
Yeah, I think he'll grab Spike Cave after he's finished with the dark side.
That is absolutely a possibility. And thus far in this, there's only one item, so Lanmolas is holding the second.
Yep, I imagine we'll be seeing some Fire Rod strats on Lanmolas. It seems the most optimal at the moment.
It can be a bit tricky to hit it with the hammer, and the sword is not particularly good against Lanmolas. This Lanmolas fight in itself is not going to be very difficult, it's just a matter of how much time it's going to take. And the Super Bunny Cave today is going to yield a big heart and a small heart.
More like Super Lovey Cave.
Of course, with the hookshot, can check out Hookshot Cave, but first we will find out which medallion is on Turtle Rock today, and it is Quake.
So we are going to need that mirror to get into Turtle Rock, which may be a bit of a sigh of relief, because the mirror has yet to make an appearance.
It's indeed true. Who not getting all that lucky with some of the Lanmolas movement with his Fire Rod strats, and he's just opting to use the sword here to finish off the work. You see 50 more rupees being picked up in Hookshot Cave, 10 arrows, and in our final chest here we see Bombos!
Bombos medallion. Well, that kills the mirror. Well, no. The Quake killed the mirror on Pedestal Dream. The Bombos medallion once again kind of points us in another direction. Perhaps Ice Palace could have something.
This is our third bottle with a B inside of it from Lanmolas. The desert was not the play either. We do have all that fire for ice. Also do have a Palace of Darkness access, even though the dungeon cannot be beaten.
No, we established this desert was the play because it had the powder in it.
Shh. It did open up one item location, I will give you that.
But it's the powder. Anyway, sorry.
Murnco realizing, oh, I have the mitts, I can lift up this giant rock.
Seems legit. So we may see a play on those, like the blacksmith and stuff here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And where is who headed?
Mushroom.
Oh yeah, the mushroom is finally going to be checked.
I think he was actually saving the mushroom until he found the powder, or the Cane of Samaria, so he could do the fake powder trick if he needed to.
And it's always a nice backup. I've seen some players delay the mushroom because of that. And Murnco is opting for this Frog World Tour. And who delivers in the mushroom and gets rewarded with the mirror?
Oh my goodness, the mirror has been available this whole time. The whole time.
Just crazy to think that they've had that and been able to check so many item locations and be able to maneuver the world and the dungeons much more effectively. Well, that means Swamp is in logic. And boots is available, and I guess that's where Who is headed.
Yeah, who's gonna go get those boots as soon as humanly possible?
Now, if he checks this ether tablet and he sees King of Samaria there, it might freak him out a little bit because he still needs to find that Master Sword for it.
But yeah, he's got the. Oh yeah, the mushroom turns out it was in Hype Cave, so Hype Cave actually lived up to the hype just in a delayed fashion today.
The true hype is in the fetch. Well, gonna be reading this ether tablet, and that's just money there. And Murnco having to do this whole play here without the mirror is going to cost a lot of time.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate.
Especially if you just find 20 rupees. But this is really good for Who. With that mirror, gets the boots, gets to check everything up here because he didn't spend any time here earlier.
Yep, and he's going to go ahead and use the hammer strats to knock down these pegs and open the Turtle Rock portal. He will not be opening the entrance.
It's indeed true. Solving that hammer puzzle without any struggle whatsoever. First time all the time.
Very nice.
I did see a quake there, so he knows that, but... well, he can go and pick that one up. We're still looking for the cane in that case, because this could be one of those seeds where the cane is not required. And Murnco has to run all around the world to go here and pick up this treasure chest here.
So that ether tablet said, just couch cash, move right along. Just letting you know there's nothing here that you want to see.
Yeah, the players are not really going to be coming back for any rupees on anything like that.
Couch cash refers specifically to either 20 rupees or 50 rupees, but more often than not 20.
Because there's a lot of 20 rupees in the game. And Who gets nothing in Hookshot Cave except for that bombos, which may or may not be required, we don't know yet. But he is going to be very happy with those boots. And Murnco here delivering in and getting a piece of heart. This routing is still working out quite well for him because he hasn't done desert yet and can just walk over there right now.
Yep. So with that mirror check, or with that mirror acquisition, I believe Who finds himself at a significant advantage at the moment.
Oh, I absolutely agree. The mirror is a great boon to have for any sort of navigation.
And also with this mirror, I think we may see ourselves... He may also do the blacksmith check, but combine it with the magic bat check.
And then finish that off with the checking Bombos tablet and heading into Swamp.
Yep. That seems like a perfectly reasonable route.
I really like the sound of that route.
Even as someone who is not a huge fan of Swamp, I can get behind this. Oh, he's going to check Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb and Bonkrox as well.
Those tend to be some item locations that are sometimes forgotten because they're a little bit out of the way.
Just going to kind of round up all this overworld while you're doing it.
You really want to avoid making that potential Ice Palace play later on if Swamp doesn't hold up to the 6 items that are inside of it. And can still enter pod, but still looking for that bow. I mean, for all we know, the bow is the only real item we're lacking right now. Murnco grabbing his map, who here checking out the graveyard ledge first, getting some nice bombs here. He's gonna find himself with the bow!
Oh my. So, archery weaponry in the graveyard ledge, that is a location that a lot of people like to skip. And fortunately for Who, he did not skip that thing.
Well, who can get all crystals right now?
Yeah. If it weren't for the fact that he skipped that sword, we would call this go mode.
It could still need a cane if the big key is on the east side of Ganon's tower.
There is that, yes.
I mean, this is a really difficult situation to be in. I mean, you clearly go for the crystal dungeons, but do you assume that you're in go mode and just try and look for the sword, or do you check everything?
It really depends on where I am.
I mean, I do approve of this decision to start off with Pod, because there's a lot of items there, and you never really know where that big key is gonna be anywhere, so you could still ending up full clear in the dungeon.
Right, and of course, additional swords could be forthcoming off of that.
And should he find the sword here and or possibly the cane, and if that is required, then he can go mode swamp, which is always a nice feeling.
Hopefully he'll check the chest he forgot in Eastern, but I don't know if that'll happen.
We can always hope that's the case. Meanwhile, Murnco here is approaching Land Molas. And Land Molas not being very nice to him at all.
Who getting blocked by the ropers and missing
Kiki the monkey.
Kiki for a while.
Yeah, to spend some additional seconds there to get it back in position.
And some additional cash, but not a huge amount.
Here's also the question, how confident is Who in Silverless Ganon?
At this rate, Master Sword, Silverless Ganon.
I mean, Master Sword, Silverless Ganon doesn't sound very appealing to me.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like the worst.
There's a small key, which that chest tends to have.
That being said, Who, basically has quite a bit of a lead on Murnco, as long as Murnco doesn't find that mirror and get the bow.
Yeah, the bow is the big item right now, since that does unlock the bow. The mirror unlocks the bow. I don't even remember what I just said. Whatever.
So who42baker just picked up the big key. If he intended on go moding this dungeon, he would get a small key and leave.
Indeed. And Murnco is setting out a B. This to me is an indicator that he is going to deliver the mushroom.
Okay. So who42baker's sword time is running out.
This seed, or this race, it's not over yet. And Murnco's got a lot of rupees here to spend on some very nice blue potions, and with what seems to be a fluteless seed, he's not going to get any other opportunity to come back here.
Oh, we find a Master Sword on the right-hand side of Pod.
Oh, that's really good for Who.
Now, if Murnco heads over there, they're going to have Tempered Sword. It's going to make things a lot faster. And Who is going to finish this dungeon? He's in go mode. He has no intention of checking more things. It means the Master Sword Silverless may be on the table.
And he's also assuming that the Ganon's Tower Big Key is not on the east side and will not need the Cane of Samaria. And honestly, I can't blame him for making that gamble.
I mean, I would go for that play.
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100% of the time. think Murnco forgot that he wasn't in the Dark World.
Whoops. That I'm not saying I've done that before, but I've done that a lot before.
A lot of players make some rather silly mistakes sometimes. I know a certain shovel in Sanctuary from a year ago.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I do know what you're talking about, but...
Yeah, we don't talk about that one anymore. Anyway, Murnco is back into the Dark World and we'll check out... starting with Bombo's tablet.
Yep, it's entirely possible that Murnco intends to go into Swamp looking for this bow before checking Graveyard Ledge. And as we said, Graveyard Ledge is a place that's out of the way and nobody I know likes it.
That is sadly going to set him back if that is the case. So we could find the silvers in there. Oh my god!
My goodness, the Cane of Samaria on the Bombos medallion. So if you're a Murnco fan, you're going to want to hope that that big key is on the right side of GT.
I just hope that doesn't force Murnco to head into Turtle Rock. And he's opting out of Swamp for now. I didn't quite get to see this Helmasaur fight, but seeing that hard count, I'm pretty certain that went as expected.
Yeah, went quite well. Alright, so who is kind of... Oh, there's the last sword.
I mean, Murkus is checking all the right item locations, even though it's technically not the right item location.
So it's in the Grove Cave. Now, if he heads east here, he's going to Swamp. Okay. So it looks like Murnco will probably be full clearing Swamp looking for the bow, while who42baker will 100% go mode that place.
Yeah, which is quite sad for Murnco. On the other hand, Who is not checking the chest he missed on Eastern, so this is going to be Master Sword for the rest of the game for him.
Unless by some miracle he decides to check, you know, the Grove Cave.
I'd imagine that's really low on your priority list.
Now, the silver arrows could still be in, say, Ganon's Tower, and that would be a mild relief.
Yeah, it's in the Ganon's Tower big chest.
Why?
Because it can be there. Don't ask me why.
Okay.
Well, Murco is making this swamp play. He's sadly not going to find anything in here that is needed to beat the seed, except for potentially silvers, which are nice to have.
And yet another way to make this more difficult on Who.
Yeah, Who has a tough task ahead of him here, and there is that risk of a potential cane being required. It was a good Armos fight. Did get hit a bit in the start, which prevented him from getting the fast kill.
That is true. It was a pretty good setup, though, at the beginning.
And now Who will be heading into Swamp, where Murnco currently is.
I imagine he'll come in before, he'll come in after Murnco and finish before Murnco.
Yeah, I think Murnco is going to be checking the left side here. And even with this cane being required or not, I would say this seed has qualified as a yet seed.
Oh yeah, this has been pretty extremely fast, especially if you got that mirror or that mushroom check early. Like if you manage to route that in, that would be huge.
We've even found all of the swords, no pendants being required. It's basically a silvers that we are looking for as to speak. And yeah, Murnco here will be doing a full clear of swamp. It just struck me that Murnco never went up to Death Mountain to pick up his boots. I wonder if he's forgotten that, or if this is a conscious decision from his side.
It's possible.
And with those boots, you'd be more inclined to check the graveyard area where the bow is. But on the other hand, I can't fault him for going into a crystal dungeon that he can full clear. We're just sitting here and waiting for some more chests being opened because this is swamp and it takes some time to get to the left side.
Yep, there is that. Who is about to use the hammer for a little bit, get that little river flooded, and then we'll switch over to the hook shot, and that's what Who will have equipped for the remainder of this dungeon.
Just a piece of heart in our first chest on the left side. And in our second, Murnco will find himself the map, sadly. That also means that the big key is in an awkward location.
And who42baker has now entered the back of the dungeon.
Murnco will soon be there, and you can see how much faster it is to go mode swamp.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see Who perhaps check the one chest in the waterfall room on the way.
Oh yes, it's very close nearby. It takes like 2 seconds to check, so it's very convenient.
Oh, he's even going to check the ones down here.
Oh, if this is silvers, that's a big pickup for him. It's an air capacity upgrade and 3 bombs.
Looks like a negatory there.
That just makes it even more likely that he's gonna check this chest in here as well. That is the case, and he finds himself the compass.
Argus will have the big key, so... Or, no, it could be in the big chest itself.
Hopefully it's in the big chest. For Murnco's sake, because I fear he's gonna go back in and check that item location. So here's the Master Sword Argus, always a bit annoying because it takes 2 hits for those small puff balls, whatever they're called. Argi, I believe they're called?
Yeah, I believe that is the technical term.
And Argus is another one of those boss fights that isn't particularly difficult, it's just very time-consuming.
I see a lot of people, when you have Master Sword or Fighter Sword, will try to grab 2 puffs and then either use the hammer or slash them both with the Master Sword.
Yeah, I've seen that as well. Who is just playing this very safe, doesn't want to try any new or difficult fancy stuff. He's just doing regular Master Sword spins here in Phase 2.
But Murnco, using the Tempered Sword, will have a much easier time with these Argai. There's the big key.
Oh, why do you do this to us? And that's all 7 crystals for Who, so we all know where he's headed.
Well, I think we know what time it is.
It's that time?
Get your guesses in as where you think the big key is going to be. For Ganon's Tower. 1 to 22.
And if you're a subscriber to any of the speed gaming channels, or have donated a total of 250 bits, you will be entering the leaderboard should you guess right. And Murnco is heading back into Swamp. And Who is gonna buy some potions. I totally agree with this decision because he's sitting on Master Sword with silvers, or without silver, so he's gonna need some help.
Indeed.
He may need some help, but I do this every day of the week. This seed having the perfect pendant dungeons and none of them being required. I have to say, it's been quite a while since I saw a seed like that.
Indeed. Alright, so Murnco finds just a piece of heart in the big chest in Swamp Palace, and Murnco is heading to the right side to go get, I think, the Quake medallion off of the island.
It could be Quake, but this could also be Ice, and that's what I'm really afraid of here. He's gonna get Quake, we'll see what happens after this.
Yeah, it would be unfortunate if this baits him into Ice or Turtle Rock.
And he's taking the save and quit, Who is now up on Death Mountain. He's not been annoyed by these dead rocks too much on the way.
Oh, this could be good. Murnco starting from Sanctuary. We could be getting the Bonk Rock. Well, not the Bonk Rocks, but the Graveyard Ledge check here.
He just works out save and quits. He seems a little bit indecisive on where to go. Is he going... Oh, he is picking up the boots now.
Right. Though he may take this occasion to dip Turtle Rock, which would be unfortunate.
Sadly, yes. Meanwhile, Who is entering Ganon's tower? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're hoping for this race to be close, you have to hope that that big key is on the right side. And here we go. Small key, followed by the big key. It's a perfect Ganon's tower.
Oh my goodness. Big key in chest number 2. If you know the definition of a jet seed, this is it.
Just checking that torch to see if there is silver or a sword upgrade. He is headed straight up. Now this all comes down to how well Who can deal with this gauntlet and how confident he is in Master Sword Silverless Ganon.
Yep. We did see him go check the torch real fast because, you know, looking for those silvers or another sword. I don't see any problem with that. Murnco is opening Turtle Rock.
Please don't go in, please don't go in, please don't go in.
He's not going in yet. He's going to get those boots.
Please save and quit, please save and quit. And this is going to be quite unique because for Who here, doing these Wizrobe rooms without the cane.
Yeah, that is something I rarely have to do.
It's extremely rare to see someone this far into Ganon's tower without the cane. Now he has Bombos if he wants to play this very safe in this room, since the Bombos one-shots all the enemy.
But he's also making pretty good use of bow strats and other wonderful things on the way up.
And Murnco is dipping into Turtle Rock.
Oh, that's gotta hurt. Well, maybe we'll see the silver arrows in here.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, hopefully we find the silver arrows and he doesn't find Ice Rod. Meanwhile, who needs to drink that blue potion?
Looks like he drank a red potion.
Oh yeah, he still had that red potion left that we found at the very start. Molo's fight can be a bit tricky with that torch in the bottom left corner. He's mostly using Master Sword strats here. He may want to preserve his magic.
It's very true.
Now I'm really interested in seeing how who handles this room. That was a really weird hitbox on the last one.
I think he's broadcasting at 30 frames per second, so that thing was actually fading out.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't quite know that. The second room went quite nice for him. Murnco here doing the chain chomp room. Getting quite annoyed by these chomps. He's gonna open the chest and find himself another small key.
Right, who getting through the torch room, no problem. Head right upstairs, get through a second torch room. I imagine we will see checks of all the 4 chests on the way up.
Absolutely, he's still looking for items here. And we start off with 3 bombs, that's not going to help. And in our outer chest, we do see a piece of heart. But it's very convenient that that was a full refill for him. Murnco finds the big key in the middle of the lava room. And who is gonna pick up our second shield of the game. That doesn't help at all.
Not one bit.
I have to admit, it's been a long time since I saw Master Sword Silverless Ganon. I'm very interested in seeing how who handles this, but first he needs to conquer the real obstacle of Ganon's tower.
Yep, Trolldorm 2 claims a victim. Uh-oh.
Scary for him if he gets knocked down here.
He activates speed Trolldorm mode, but that is fine.
Now if this chest here does have silver arrows, that's going to change everything, but it's just 5 rupees.
Alright, so we'll at least get to find out where the silvers are when Ganon tells us.
And all that stands between that is Aga 2 being Aga 2.
Alright, that's a single, the first one. And getting a little trolled by the blue balls and the patterns there. This should be at least one.
Murnco making the big play, leaving Turtle Rock after checking the big chest.
Very interesting. I like it.
I mean, we also know this is the right call to make.
It looks like he's starting from sync with those boots. This could be huge.
We plan on going to the right, but he's going left, so maybe he's going to the Dark World and then checking Bonk rocks. Oh, that seems to be the case. Meanwhile, this Aga fight is being a massive pain for Who.
There we go. Aga 2 goes down, and now who42baker faces the most daunting task that can ever face a runner.
Now, I believe he may go down and bonk the tree to get the fairy first before heading into this. No, he's just going straight for this. Well, here we go, Who. Master Sword Silverless Ganon. 14 hearts, 2 blue potions.
Alright, so that's the equivalent of 10 spins so far. 2 more will end phase 1. And so we should be phase 2 now. And there we go.
It's a great position for him to be.
Alright, that's 8 for phase 2. 9. And he's going to play it safe.
He's quite low on hearts, and I imagine he wants to use those blue potions on magic.
And that is actually going to do it. I believe that's 12 spins to get through phase 2. While Murnco is checking the North Dark World areas, and who42baker takes a death.
And he has no fairies, so he has to retry that from the get-go. On the other hand, he has a lot of time to spare. But every death you take, you imagine it is going to get to you. Who in this situation, he has no idea how big of a lead he has.
He may suspect it because of the position of the bow, but he can't guarantee it.
Well, here we go. Ganon take 2.
And Murnco is about to pick up his bow.
That will put him in go mode.
We've now entered phase 2. That's 2 hits on phase 2 so far. Hits on phase 2 do not count until the trident starts spinning.
It's indeed true, and these fire bats are not being very nice. Murnco with the bow is in go mode. And Who here is gonna use the blue potion?
Alright. Murnco's going to head over to Pod, while Who continues fighting the good fight on phase 2. Firebat
Really?
is being unhelpful.
Yeah, he's really struggling to get through this phase. Murnco down low again. Barely managed to survive there with the elbow shot, but does get hit by one on the back.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see who go ahead and restock potions here.
Yeah, he made a save and quit there, so he's gonna restock. Murnco is now entering pod. And since we haven't even reached the final phase, we still don't know where the silver arrows are. Murnco has no small key. Did he skip the left side completely?
Looks like it. He's gonna pick up butter though.
That's gonna be real nice for him. Who here picking up some blue potions. Now he is out of rupees though.
Yeah, if I were Who, I would actually be saving and quitting right now in order to save those rupees. And then if I die, I can do a hard reset to get them back.
Oh yeah, that's a great point, but I think he is running this way because he wants to guarantee full hearts for the fight. On the other hand, he does have that bonk fairy, so... I mean, well, Murnco's picking up the small key and is proceeding through pod right now. I also wonder if Murnco is going to be checking additional item locations here for silvers or, well, just the big key in general. He's going to find a big key now though, we'll see what he decides to do.
It looks like he's gonna peace out. Well, nope.
He's going to check the left side. And who is going to make his third try here on Ganon?
Oh, that text gets worse every time you die to Ganon.
Especially this one with the Deja Vu, because it's gonna feel like Deja Vu, or it may already feel that way for Who. I have to admit, Murnco's routing in pod is confusing me a little bit.
And we're in phase 2, and Who gets the best spot in the game?
Gonna get a lot of hits in here, but still needs some more, using the Who shot very well to dodge all the fire back.
Well done for Who, and staying away from Ganon when he's down the bottom right corner. No, nobody likes that spot. This is a fine spot. We can get a couple of hits in. Hopefully.
He's learning a little bit from his mistake. Murnco has no magic, has to push the statue.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
Down to 4 hearts, can only take one more hit before he has to use a potion.
Yeah, I think Ganon can only take one more hit though before heading to phase 3.
Yeah, he took a hit from a fire bat, forced to use a blue potion. think who's got all the hits in now to head into phase 3.
A little unfortunate getting hit with some fire there. Oh,
And missing the first one just caused everything to spiral out of control.
getting excellent teleport patterns, but unfortunately having to deal with fire bats cost him the advantage early on.
Some more teleportations here, but does get the final one, but there is a bird out. And he's putting out the lamp here. The silver arrows are located in Palace of Darkness.
Interesting.
So they are in the dark area.
So if this goes horribly wrong, who could always go ahead and give that a shot?
Yeah, there are not many chests back there. There's only 5 or 6 actually, but they are all very close to one another. And this confirms no pennant visits are required to beat the seed. Meanwhile, Murnco has finished off Elmasaur King, as who is doing a pretty good job so far with this Master Sword Silverless.
Oh yeah. You know, for as much trouble as he was having with the first 2 phases, he's handling the 4th phase like a pro.
Yeah, he definitely has practiced this before, and he has a blue potion in the backup as well.
Ooh!
It was really close. Getting in 2 spins at every cycle here. 2 is possible, oh 3 is possible, but it's really hard to get it.
Yeah. Generally when I do it, if I try for 3, I'm holding the sword out as I light the torch, and I wait for Ganon to get to, like, the bottom, and then I light the silly thing.
Murnco's now heading into Eastern. This will be his final crystal. It's been a long time since who took any hits in this phase.
Yeah, this is just some excellent execution on this fight at the end. I am thoroughly impressed.
Absolutely. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Master Sword Silverless, who42baker is going to take his first win in this tournament. Go up to a score of 1-1. Good game, well played.
Indeed, well played to who42baker.
And that was a fantastic way to end this seed for him.
Should we mention Eastern Palace? Oh boy. Well, let's see if we can get who42baker in here.
And meanwhile, Murnco is proceeding through Eastern. He has all the equipment in the world to deal with anything this dungeon throws at him.
Okay, so we will be getting an interview from from Baker shortly. Needs a little break after that, but we'll be coming right back in for a interview right after this.
Oh, he absolutely deserves a break after that amazing Phase 4. And there's Murnco's final crystal, and he will now be headed into Ganon's Tower.
Yep, I'm gonna get the basically perfect GT. no silvers for Murnco either, so we will be seeing silverless strats. But the butter sword will make this infinitely better.
That is indeed the case. And as we sit here and watch the credits, we still don't know where that flute is, or which medallion was required for Meyer.
We did not have an appearance from Swag Duck today. Except at the very end, when he just suddenly breaks out of his thing for no reason.
I believe that is also a true example of video game logic. Murnco? What are you doing in Tower of Hera, buddy?
That's Ganon's tower, right?
No, it's not.
Really? Dang it.
I mean, they do look quite similar, but I'm pretty confident they're not the same thing.
They're basically in the same spot.
Yeah, but you know, alternate dimensions and things like that.
Looks like we are now joined by our winner today, who42baker. Baker, oh my goodness, you give me a heart attack.
I almost had one myself. I was freaking out after that first death.
That was an absolutely fantastic phase 4 you had there on Ganon. Good game, well played, man.
Thank you. So I'm looking at the restream. Where were the other swords?
Okay, so here's where you're going to kick yourself in the face. You ready for this?
Alright, go ahead.
Okay, Eastern Palace. Map chest.
On the east side of Eastern Palace, you skipped that chest.
You're kidding me.
That one had a sword, and then the last sword was in... was it Cave 45?
It was.
I skipped it.
Sadly, you did.
That's the one where you walk up the stairs, the room before the big chest.
No, the other one.
No. Oh, okay, that's the compass one. No. Yeah.
The one on the right side where the where you can hook shot to it if you...
Right, yeah.
That chest had a sword. I'm sorry, man.
Are you alright?
I'm fine. I was practicing NMG last night.
Yeah, I mean,
and this happened to me in another race too, where I totally
you did a
skipped
whole lot
Sahasrahla. And
oh wow,
I just went on autopilot, just skipped, and it lost me like 15 minutes in that race too.
So that's
wow.
That's the NMG coming back to haunt you. But hey, you did an excellent job with the Master Sword Ganon. The fact that you got that mirror way much earlier than your opponent, and then elected to check that graveyard ledge, which was also pretty big troll, gave you quite a bit of cushion of time to deal with that.
Okay. I actually thought I was behind because I had the mushroom forever, and I thought I have to check this, but I don't want to check it yet in case I get Samaria and I can fake powder. And I picked up powder somewhere, and I'm like, oh, I should turn this mushroom in eventually, and I never did.
Your opponent... Yeah, so your opponent also got jebaited into Turtle Rock because they did find the Cane of Samaria.
Where was it?
It was on the Bombos tablet.
I almost checked that too, right before I went into Swamp, thinking there might be a sword in there. Sword in the Bombos tablet. Samaria would have been nice in GT.
There we go. Murnco gets the safety room now. Oh, but man, that was an excellent fight there. I mean, you may have had a little trouble with the first two phases of Ganon, but once you got to phase 4, you were in the zone.
Yeah, that first time that I went into Ganon kind of went poorly. I was trying to pause when I was at 2 hearts because I knew the next hit would kill me. I knew I had potions, but I got hit before I could pause and get to it. But wow, I'm glad I got it.
Well done. Well done.
You deserve a long rest after that one.
After seeing your skill on that fight, I hope I don't have to face you in the next round.
Yeah, it's actually been a while since I've done Master Sword Civilus. I'm used to the Tempered Sword Silverless. So phase 4 is fine once you get into a groove, but it's that phase 1 and 2 that'll always get me.
So I guess that's yet another reason things would have been much better if you'd have checked that chest in Eastern Palace.
Yeah, that's such an. I'm gonna go open that chest.
Yeah, I think you. I think the idea that you got that what was it called? When you got the mirror, I think you turned in the mushroom at just the right time. Basically, after you picked up the powder.
Yeah, the powder kind of sent me over there because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to fake powder at that point.
And Magic Bat just had like 20 rupees or something like that.
Did he? Okay. I never checked him, so I wasn't sure if he had anything.
Murnco went and checked it just before he decided to do all the bonk locations and found the bow.
We figured once you found the bow, we figured your idea there was you were going to check the north side locations and then potentially check like the smith and the magic bat and all that on the way down to swamp if you didn't find what you were looking for there. But you found the bow and it was like, nope, we're out of here.
Yeah, I was gonna check north side and then go down to pod because I hadn't dipped into pod at that point. But I found the bow and I'm like, okay, this is go mode almost.
And you happened to find that sword over on the right side of pod, so that helped.
Yeah.
Though if you'd explored the other part of pod, you might have found the silver arrows.
Yeah, when Ganon said that they were in pod, I got a little annoyed because I thought I was behind because of how late I checked the mushroom. I thought it was late, but so I thought, okay, I'm gonna make a gamble here. I have the big key. I have a key. I can go and do Helmasaur, and maybe he has a sword or silver or something. And he had a big 20.
So we actually have no idea what chest that's in because the
Murnco checked the same item locations that you did.
Yeah. Okay.
Murnco being a little bit trolled here by that torch room, but he's getting through it.
Looks like he's got it. Is he gonna make it in time? Oh, he did. Good. I can't believe I skipped that chest though.
oh boy.
Oh well.
I wins, man.
Yeah. I'm glad that I was able to get the win with the Master Sword Civilus. That felt real good. Well, I'm gonna head out. Thanks for commentating, guys, and thanks to Fiesel for the restream. That was awesome.
Thank you for being so damn good at this game.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
Congratulations again.
And we'll see you later on in this tournament.
Yep.
All right, so Murnco is now approaching Trolldorm 2.
He's fully equipped for everything. It's gonna be interesting to see how well he handles this silverless Ganon fight.
here we go. It's time for Aga 2. Perhaps Murnco will be able to navigate the Aga 2 patterns a little better, though they were not kind whatsoever.
Some very poor positions and a lot of blue balls. Was that a single or a double there?
I'm not sure. It looked like they hit it just the exact same time, and I only heard one hit, so probably was just one, but you never know.
I have to admit, this is one of the worst Aga 2s I've ever seen. Just these patterns all over the place.
There we go. Murnco takes down Aga 2. I believe it was roughly the same spot where Who pulled it off.
Yeah, that sounds pretty plausible to me as well. And now to see how Murnco will deal with this Ganon.
So I see Who in chat. Just saying, did Ganon's text make you feel salty? Because that's like the saltiest text after coming in several times.
And we can all see just how much faster these two first phases are with Putter.
We're gonna get like a basically no teleport cycle here. It's now time for Silverless strats. Torch glitch acquired.
Looks like he's opting for Lamp here to preserve some magic.
The torch does have to be lit or it doesn't work.
I'm gonna take a wild guess here and say that Murnco is not very familiar with Silverless Ganon. Or that could simply
There
have
you
been
go.
practice for him.
Could have been. I think he figured it out.
How many hits is it that you need with Butter?
I believe it is 12, just as tempered. Oh no!
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Murnco also did find out that the arrows were in pods, so there is a chance he just goes over and grabs them.
Yeah, he should know. If he checked the racing chat, he knows that this seed is over, as to speak. That who42baker's already won. But he's giving it another go. He didn't use too much magic there, and I believe he still has 2 blue potions.
Going to take a little bit of an extra cycle here on phase 2, but that's okay. You get this done whatever way you can.
Better safe than sorry is usually a pretty good strategy, but he does get it in 2 cycles.
He's got a little bit of fire circles here on the second phase. Or third phase, excuse me.
He dodged it pretty well, as the final floors will come to crumble down now, and we will see how it goes this time.
Once again, the torch glitch activated, and we get 1, 2 hits. Waiting for those fire bats to fly by. Oop, a little overzealous on the poke there. And okay, gets that 3rd hit in.
That was a real clutch 3rd hit there.
Ooh, that might have been a ill-advised place to spin the sword. If it had actually hit.
Yeah, the knockback from hitting Ganon can be a bit troublesome sometimes. No! That one's on me. I take full blame for that.
That one's on Ganon.
But what if I am Ganon?
Then I am scared.
Good, I guess. Well, who needed a 3rd try? Will Murn do this on the 3rd try as well?
That will be a 1 cycle phase 2 for sure. Murnco unleashed the sword of death.
He get a fire bat there, but he is feeling pretty good.
I don't know what he's got as far as potions and safeties.
I'm pretty certain he has 1 or 2 blues. He did go back and purchase some earlier.
There we go, Murnco. Once again entering phase 4. Dodge the fire. Oh! Almost. Did not get the torch glitch this time. We got a red potion.
He must have a red and a blue then.
I think he's probably going to have time for maybe 1 hit here.
Sadly, he got hit there, so that one's out of the question.
There's 1. This will be enough for 2, but unfortunately no good there.
Sadly, he missed that one. How did it... Wait, what? How did Ganon go up to the top left?
Is he not supposed to?
No, no, never. I object.
That's going to do it for the magic supply. Hopefully he's got another potion in reserve, or this could be a problem.
Indeed, getting 1 final hit there, but now he is out of magic. But I believe he does have that 1 final blue potion. But if this one doesn't do it, I would not be surprised if he's going to make the dip into pod.
Alright. Alright, so there's another hit. No!
Oh man, Ganon is just not being nice today. With a torch glitch, this is enough magic for the fight.
I think he's going to give it another shot.
This will be his most likely final attempt before either heading back to the witch to pick up some potions or heading into pot for those silvers.
Alright, there's phase 1 down. We're going to see. Yep, on phase 2. I'm going to try to dodge those fire balls. I think he might be one short.
Indeed, he is one short, seems like.
Yeah, it's just because the hits don't count until you start spinning.
Some very nice dodges there with the hook shot. I was a bit afraid he stood too close then was gonna hug him.
Alright, once again, to phase 4, we will hopefully find the torch glitch. He is just spamming the snot out of that lamp.
That was like almost half his magic gone just like that.
He's like, I will not miss this glitch.
The thing is, even if you spam, you could still get some input delay or something that could still cause you to miss it.
Oh, getting trolled by the fire bats left and right.
With no additional potion, this is all the life he has.
Oh, dodging that bat. Not taking any chances this time.
Assuming he can get in one spin per lamp, I think he's got this.
Another hit. And a second hit. Well played.
Really good.
And there we go! Murnco finishing off Ganon in the silverless fashion.
And in the end, we did get to see 2 silverless Ganons in the seed. Very impressive work by both our players.
Well done by Murnco.
We'll see if we can get Murnco in here for a little bit of an interview.
And we are now joined by Murnco. Congratulations on finishing that. Whew!
Thank you. That's I haven't done many silverless Ganon, but
Yeah, it looked like you were practicing your timing there early on in the first attempt there.
Well, I forgot one of the torches went out. I didn't even notice.
Oh,
No. It was practice. It was practice. Say it
Yeah,
with
yeah.
me. It was practice.
Yeah, that's it.
it's RNG manipulation.
Yeah, I realized I was going to have to do Silverus, and I was like, okay. Let's see how this goes.
You know, good on you for not succumbing to the temptation to go to pod looking for those silvers. So your opponent actually finished on Master Sword Silverless.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So they actually skipped the chest in Eastern Palace with the sword.
Yeah, I was not skipping much because I guess he must have. I went into Eastern first, and he must have went in right after Pod, then went go mode.
No, he just skipped it.
Okay.
It was, I think it was muscle memory from NMG.
I
Because
see.
he would never go
Oh.
over there in NMG.
I mean, obviously he played well, so
Yeah,
didn't
main
seem to affect him too
difference-
much, at least in the race.
the main difference I assume you know is that mirror being so significantly trolly because you don't have the flute to get to the mushroom.
Yeah, I was
turn-in
actually waiting to be like, okay, I need a couple potions, so now let's go turn in the. But then I was like, well, I got red mail and stuff, so why would I ever need anyway?
Your opponent turned it in as soon as he got the powder because he figured, well, now I don't need it for fake powder.
That makes sense.
And then, of course, that bow being in Graveyard Ledge and eventually trolling you into checking out Turtle Rock. Pretty good decision on yours part to peace out after the big chest.
Yeah, I was like, well, I knew that it was on the Quake was on the island to open it, so I was like, well, maybe the seed is telling me something here, but I was like, no, I'm just gonna go in and check a couple chests, and then that turned into like most of the chests, and then I was like, no, I gotta get out of here. This isn't the right play.
Yeah, and I think checking up to the big chest is actually the right call if you're going to do that, because at that point, then you can, if you're going to have to come back in, you could take the shortcut and not have to go outside again.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty good.
I don't know. I was pretty happy with how I played. My routing was obviously could have been better and stuff, but I don't think I was terrible. I was terrible in my first race. This one I wasn't terrible, so I'm happier.
Yeah, your routing was perfectly fine. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, well, I knew going into Turtle Rock was a risk, and I felt like I knew that my opponent was a better player than me. So I was like, if it's in here, maybe I'll get something. But obviously it wasn't. So.
Well, you did get both of the sword upgrades, and you were also the only player to get Cane of Samaria, so if that big key in Ganon's Tower was on the right side, you would have had a big edge there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess boots weren't even really required for this seed either, right? So.
Yeah, that's true. Boots were not required, although certainly not unwelcome.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, because I was like, that's why I didn't go for the boots immediately, because the only thing that way would have been required for Desert Palace and Ganon's Tower, but then I was like, well, I'll try Desert Palace, and if I'm locked, then I'll go get them, but then I just finished it, so.
Yeah, and I imagine without the boots, you probably would have taken even longer to go find that bow.
Yeah, it's like, because it's all straight shot there along the top, right? So.
Yeah, who went and picked up the boots very quickly after the mirror, and then did a Graveyard Ledge locations pretty quickly after that.
Well, that's great. Congratulations to him.
All right, so yeah, well played. Murnco, is there anything else you want to say about this seed before we wrap things up today?
I don't think so. I mean, it was a good seed as far as like there was a couple like the mirror troll and the bow troll, but it was really not like. I liked how it didn't dump everything on me at the same time. It was really like go get one, then the other, and then the other. You didn't get a whole bunch at the first, which I kind of like because it tells me where to go. But I also just want to thank you guys for commentary and then restream Feasel and the tracker and Sage, I think, is a tracker. and yeah, it was great. And you know, I want to thank Sakura Tsubasa for getting me into the randomizer in the first place too.
All right. So thank you for showing that off, and congratulations on finishing. Good luck in the next round. You're not out of this yet.
Thanks very much.
And yeah, so I think time to start wrapping things up. Once again, I want to thank who42baker and Murnco for showing off their talents today, and of course our tracker Sage Figaro for dealing with all of the display on screen. Turned out there weren't that many items to track today by comparison, but you know, still doesn't make the job any less easy or any less difficult. There we go, words. And of course, I want to thank my co-commentator Marjovic.
It's been a pleasure being here today, commentating with you, Doc.
All right, and I do want to say that if you enjoyed what you saw here today, one of the best ways to support the people involved is to give them a follow here on Twitch, and I'm sure anyone here would appreciate it. So with that, it's about time to wrap things up, so I will just say that I have been Dr. Bobtastic.
And I've been Marjevich, and I will soon be in one of the many other speed gaming channels here where we currently have races going on over on Speed Gaming 2 and 4, and in about 10 minutes we'll also have a race on Speed Gaming 1. And besides that, I'm Marjevich, and it's been a pleasure being here today with you all, and I hope to see you all later.
And I will see you all over on Speed Gaming 5 here in about 40 minutes. So thank you very much for watching, and good afternoon, everybody.